And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. All right, today is a big old Sunday, folks. The last day of the regular season in the NBA. Every single team is playing today, whether it's a 1 o'clock matchup, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, a 8. It's on all day, folks. There's basketball on all day. Every single team is playing their last game of today to shore up their seeding, to shore up their seeding, because there's nobody that can kind of get in the play-in tournament today. Unfortunately, the top 10 are set. Now we're just talking about ordering. Can the Wizards get the 8th seed and have 2 chances? Can the Bucks get up to the second seed? Can the Nets get up to the 1st seed? I don't think that's possible, but we'll go through all this kind of situations today on the show. 2 big topics that we got today: our final power rankings of the season, folks. We're gonna kind of do it today. Don't really see any of these last games, this last day of games, really changing too much in kind of the grand scheme of our overall power rankings, but we'll do it today. If we have to do any kind of amendments to them, we will do that tomorrow. But what I want to do on tomorrow's show, because the play-in tournament starts on Tuesday, I want to kind of do our final walkthrough. The season is already done. Everything is in place. We'll walk through the play-in tournament. We'll walk through the first, second, third rounds of the playoffs and the finals, and kind of crown the winner of who we see winning the finals based on the entire regular season that has just played out in front of us, but before the playoffs and play-in tournament start. So power rankings today, walking through the schedule, walking through the playoffs tomorrow on the show, getting us ready, and then, come Tuesday, play-in tournament start, folks. So and then also today on the show, we got to kind of keep walking through the NFL schedule. Weeks 5 and 6, we'll try to kind of tackle today, picking the outcome of the winners of every game through those 2 weeks, getting us making kind of our full prediction for the entire season, and then we'll end up crowning our kind of too early Super Bowl winner before the season has really even started. So that's what we've got on the show today. Breaking down the NBA from yesterday as well. Doing our moneymaker for tonight's games, today's games, trying to finish this up all before 1 o'clock so we can kind of pick the 1 o'clock games if we need. And then talking about the stories of the day. So let's jump right into it today. In the first one, we knew that Bobby McCain, former Dolphins cornerback, was kind of visiting the Washington football team, and they officially signed him yesterday. So fantastic here. Great pickup here for this Washington defense, getting even better than it was last year, and it was so freaking good last year. So great talent here for Ron Rivera on this Washington defense. A solid player here, Bobby McCain. He was kind of one of our worst corners that we had, but the Dolphins, we've got a stacked defense. So going over to Washington, able to kind of help out this emerging good team with Ron Rivera. He's going from Brian Flores to Ron Rivera, folks. What blast he is of the coaching. He could have went to Dan Campbell, and career instantly ends whenever you play for Dan Campbell. So love that he's going to Washington. We're going to be kind of, Washington's going to be under our microscope for the entire season, just because we do really believe in them, and we really just most importantly just believe in Ron Rivera, the head coach. So a solid defensive player that we kind of like and root for is going to a team that we will be rooting for this year. So love to see it. Alrighty, here we go. Melvin Gordon believes Teddy Bridgewater will, quote, bring the best out of Drew Lock. So let's see if we get any other nice quotes here by Melvin Gordon. This one quote alone, we'll go in the article, but this one quote alone seems like Melvin Gordon kind of wants Drew Lock to be the starting quarterback. He wants, Teddy Bridgewater to elevate Drew Lock so Drew Lock can stay the starting quarterback. But let's see if we get any more information here on these quotes. We believe that Teddy Bridgewater is clear leaps and bounds better than Drew Lock, but let's see what Melvin Gordon is seeing out there and is saying. So here we go. Broncos lead running back Melvin Gordon. I hate that they call him lead running back. They really just threw away Phillip Lindsay like that, folks. Man, I cannot believe what they did with Phillip Lindsay and choosing Melvin Gordon over Phillip Lindsay. I don't know if I would have done that. Phillip Lindsay, emerging talent in this league. Melvin Gordon, he's been in this league forever. hasn't really, been the number one running back. The injuries a little bit, where Phillip Lindsay out of the gate, 1,000 yards back-to-back rushing. So I don't support the decision, but I still think this Broncos team is going to be good this season. But let's get back to this article here. Broncos lead running back Melvin Gordon told Michael Robinson and Brian Baldinger on NFL Total Access that he wants to see more confidence from the 24-year-old quarterback and not let the outside critics get in his head. Quote, I just want to see Drew be more confident. I feel like he's got the swagger to do what he needs to do. Well, we all know he's got the swagger. I mean, this is why this man's even in the public eye, because, 2 years ago, the 2019 season, I believe, where, he played 5 games and he was on the sideline dancing and rapping to the songs and, winning everybody over because he's like, oh my God, he's such a normal guy, down-to-earth guy. He's having fun out there. Look at this man have fun while still winning games. He went 4-1 that season. So that's why, he kind of emerged onto the scene hot. And then last season, still won 4 games, even though he played a lot more than 5. I think he played like 9 or 10. So not great that you're not improving your wins with given more games. But back to the quote here. Quote, he's just got to have that confidence in himself. I think right now he's stuck with trying to, instead of just proving it to himself, he might be stuck trying to prove it to the fans and to the coaches and to all these coaches that, hey, I'm the guy. He's been battling. It's just like he hears the noise. We all like to say we're ignoring it, but we hear it, and he hears it. I think he's got to get over that, man. He got the swagger, he got the confidence, fearless out there. He's not afraid to chance it and give a guy an opportunity. And that's truly exactly to the point right there. I mean, Drew Lock, he's a gunslinger, folks. He is a true gunslinger. He's got the big arm. He's mobile. He's able to kind of throw out of the run, and he will give you the chances on the 50-50 ball. That's why he has just so many interceptions, unfortunately, just because he is slinging the ball, all over the field. And, I don't knock that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, Jameis Winston did it and went 8-8 still, and is probably going to be the starting quarterback again for the Saints team coming up this season. So 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. So you can sling the ball around, but you have to put up touchdowns if you want to also sling the ball around. That's what made Brett Favre so good. He was putting up the touchdowns. He was also, with those interceptions because he is a gunslinger. But that has to come with wins. We can kind of forgive, you slinging the ball around wherever you want, but it has to result into wins. And so far, a young, emerging gunslinger that's not putting up the wins, they're going to start taking that arm away a little bit. So, absolutely exactly what this man says right here, Melvin Gordon. I think he puts it up absolutely up to a T. Colin Cowherd has been talking about Drew Lock, all this swag this and swag that. So, and Drew Lock is definitely hearing that. I mean, Melvin Gordon just told us right here, we like to pretend or say, hey, we don't hear the noise or we don't let it affect us, but we hear it, folks. I mean, just think of what you do on the daily basis. You're just checking Twitter. I mean, athletes are the same way. They have some downtime. They just check Twitter. They see this, and it gets in their head a little bit. So, all right. Does he say anything about Teddy Bridgewater, though? I want to know Melvin Gordon's kind of opinions on Teddy Bridgewater. All righty, what else do we get here? Quote... Well, let's just go with this, and then we'll lead into the quote. But Locke spent 2019 with Joe Flacco and Brennan Allen in the quarterback room. Last year, it was Jeff Driscoll and Brett Rapine alongside Locke. Obviously, drop off in talent there. Even with Joe Flacco, I mean, he's aged out of this league. I mean, he doesn't know the new game. Joe Flacco doesn't know new football. So, Drew Lock never has really had that mentor. But let's see what Melvin Gordon has to say about that. Quote, I think another thing is, too, he didn't have a guy like Phillip Rivers or Tom Brady or someone in front of him to really learn from, to really, learn the game and really get it. So it's kind of like him having to do it on his own. He's just been kind of having to do it on his own, man. That's another reason. I like them bringing Teddy here, giving him that competition. I think that's really going to bring the best out of him. I think we definitely going to see another Drew, another side of him. I think we just gonna see more confidence. I can tell in meetings already that he's taking on that. You can see it. Like just the way he talks, you can tell the confidence. Sometimes it's fake it till you make it. Sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. Man. Hey, let's run that back. Did I just say the same thing twice? Sometimes it's fake it till you make it. Sometimes you got to fake it till you make it, man. I told that I told him that before too in the locker room. I said, bro, if it's not your strong suit to like just kind of be just loud, I said, just fake it, bro. The guys are watching, bro. You gotta fake it, bro. And you fake it and eventually become who you are, but just fake it till you make it, bro. So, I mean, I live by that advice, truly. Fake it till you make it. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing out there, folks. Honestly, any position, Elon Musk honestly doesn't even probably know what he's doing. He's just kind of faking it till he makes it. So definitely fake it till you make it. We'll see if Drew Lock is going to step up. I know Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, this man has a fire lit under him 1,000%, folks. The man just got tossed aside by Matt Rule, folks. If I got ever tossed aside by Matt Rule, I'm coming out guns a-blazing next season. You're gonna disrespect me by throwing me to the garbage for Sam Darnold? Okay. Okay. I'm going to take this Broncos team to the mother-loving Super Bowl, and I'm going to be a champion. And then what's up, Matt Rule? Matt Rule, you'll still be in Carolina with 5-win seasons. Good luck. So 2 good quarterbacks here. I think Teddy Bridgewater's a little bit better, but, hey, competition brings out the best of everybody. So let's see who goes out and earns the starting job for the Broncos. It's either Bridgewater or Drew Lock, folks. They're not bringing in another quarterback. They didn't draft another quarterback. It's one of these two, and I'm all about it. I like Teddy Bridgewater. I still like Drew Lock, but I do like Teddy Bridgewater a little bit more, and I think he has better I think he just plays a little bit better. So we'll see who wins the starting job, but that's where we're at with this Denver Broncos situation. Alrighty, talking about quarterbacks trying to win the starting job here. Bears rookie quarterback Justin Fields, quote, I'm going to do everything that I can to get that starting job. Absolutely love it, man. Yes, sir. Go. I mean, it's not going to be that hard to beat Andy Dalton. He's just got longevity in this kind of, business of being, the starting quarterback for the Bengals. I think 2011, 2012 is when he started, so he's been in the league for about 10 years, Andy Dalton. So we'll see what Justin Fields can do, but let's go into this article a little bit more. Let's see if we get any more quotes here, anything more to really sink our teeth into here. Alrighty, so here we go. Fields made it known Friday that he's going to do whatever he can to work his way into that starting lineup, but likewise made it clear he trusts in the plan of Matt Nagy has for him, even if it means sitting on the bench for a bit. I wouldn't like that. If I was Justin Fields and Matt Nagy said, hey, we're going to have Andy Dalton as a starter, you might come in like week 5 or 6 if he's floundering, I'd be like, then don't play me at all. I'm not going to back up Andy Dalton. I know I'm a rookie, and I know all this, and I get it, but come on, you're going to take that? Believe in me. Work me up a little bit. I want to just play now. I'm not sitting behind this man who has proven in his entire career to never get it done. Obviously, he can't say that. Unfortunate. But, I'll speak out for him. Justin Fields, come hire me. I'll talk to Matt Nagy for it. Talk some sense into him. But here we go. Quote here by Justin Fields. Quote, I think everybody on our team should be striving for a starting job, and if you're not, then there's no reason for you to be here. So, of course, I'm going to do everything that I can to get that starting job. It's not up to me. Coach Nagy has a set plan on my development and stuff like that. I'm just going to work hard and keep my head down and just keep grinding it out every day. So obviously, definitely stuff that, you kind of have to say in this league. Hey, I'm not the starter yet. I have to work up for it, and I'm going to put my head down. I'm going to get better. I'm going to work every day, and I'm about that. And, just kind of going back to, a couple of days earlier when we were talking about Matt Nagy having a plan for everybody, for Justin Fields, for even Nick Foles, he's got a plan, for, putting him into the starting lineup and building around him, but we know that's just an awful decision. But, Matt Nagy, I'm hoping Matt Nagy, all the speech is just stuff you have to say. Hey, we brought in Andy Dalton. We were impressed with him. We're not making any kind of, decisions right now. We still got a long time. So, yes, Andy Dalton's our starter right now just because, he's been in the league for a little bit. Justin Fields, he's a rookie. How is he going to kind of expand his game into, a more physical, way more faster setting in the professional league than in the college program. But then we get another quote here. Nagy has stated that he realizes he needs to have the right plan in place for when debut of the Fields. For when to debut Fields, and the rookie's ready to follow it. Quote, I'm very comfortable. I think it's very important for the players to trust the coaches and the coaches to trust the players. Whatever Coach Nagy has planned for me, it's what I'm going to do and what I'm going to follow. So saying what you have to say. Hey, he's got the plan for me. I'm going to follow the plan. I'm going to trust the coach. And, when it's my time, I'm going to step it up because I'm ready for my time to happen. So Justin Fields is coming in and saying all the right things. Absolutely, what you want to see out here from your rookies. Believing in the process, believing in the system, believing in the coaches, not trying to, over talk and be like, hey, I rule everything. So well done for Justin Fields. He is. I mean, I can't fathom a world where Andy Dalton is going to start over Justin Fields, even though Justin Fields is the rookie. So, we'll see how soon he is the starting quarterback. Like I said, I just cannot see Andy Dalton starting over this man. So if Matt Nagy starts him week 1 over Justin Fields, if he starts Andy Dalton over Justin Fields week 1, and then we can finally be 100% off of Matt Nagy. But I think he's going to make the right decision in the upcoming weeks whenever it's kind of the necessary and the right time to make that official switch, when everybody's in training camp, or, they've broken down the roster to like the final 52 and then they make the decision, or the final 53. But that's where we're at with Justin Fields saying all the right things you need to say. Alrighty, let's head over to some Giants news now. And Kelvin Benjamin was out with the Giants minicamp on Friday, trying out for the team, but not at a wide receiver, as a tight end. Interesting. We know the Giants have so many weapons at the wide receiver position. Kenny Galladay, they just drafted freaking Kadarius Toney, who's going to be an absolute stud in this league. What a freaking pickup right there. Let's get the Giants depth chart up here very quickly, just to see who their number 2 tight end in. We all know Evan Ingram's going to be starting. He's fantastic. But just back to their wide receivers for a second. Kenny Galladay, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, and then you got your rookie wide receiver in Kadarius Toney. Oh, and then you also have John Ross, the speedster from Buffalo, and then I believe came from Bengals before that. But either way, they are stacked at the wide receiver position. So bringing in Kelvin Benjamin for the wide receiver position makes no sense. At the tight end position, you got Evan Ingram, and they got Kyle Rudolph as the number 2, and they're still bringing in. Is this real? You still want to get another tight end out here? So the Giants are just going wild here in their skill position set. Oh my gosh, I forgot they had Kyle Rudolph. So we're talking about 3 great tight ends for this Giants team while having 5 great wide receivers. Oh my God, Daniel Jones is going to be like a kid in a candy store come this season, folks. He's like, oh my goodness, I got tall Kenny Galladay, I got fast, tall Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, I got fast as heck Kadarius Toney, I got tall, big tight end Evan Ingram, I've got tall, big tight end Kyle Rudolph, and now you're giving me tall, big tight end Travis Benjamin, potentially? Okay, and I got my running back. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Jason Garrett, Joe Judge, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all these weapons. I love y'all. Trying to mimic the roster that the Bucs have, honestly. I mean, we talked about their wide receiver core. They had Cameron Brate at the tight end position. They had, Rob Gronkowski at the tight end position, so they were deep there. Scotty Miller, Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. So, I mean, it seems to me like this Giants team is just kind of mimicking the roster of the offense of the team that just won the Super Bowl. And can you blame them? Can you blame them trying to take the blueprint of what the team that just won the Super Bowl did? I don't think I can. So we'll see if it works out for the Giants here. They're going all in on their offense, and I'm all about Daniel Jones. I really think he can kind of lead this team. So we'll see if they end up signing Kelvin Benjamin. But even if they don't, folks, they are still stacked already. So we'll see what they do with signing Kelvin Benjamin. But man, oh man, that team is freaking stacked. Jeez. Alrighty, let's move on to this one. I have not read this article yet. We'll go through it live together, experience it together. Are we overreacting, folks? Are we overreacting? Could Takes by Fans be overreacting? I don't think so. But we'll see. Here we go. Scout's Notebook. Bucky Brooks explains why everyone's overreacting to the Jaguars' flirtation with Tim Tebow. Alrighty, did we overreact a little bit? We can't say it's an overreaction just quite yet, but we did spend 47 minutes on why Tim Tebow is garbage and shouldn't be a tight end. If y'all want to call that overreacting, okay, I can kind of see it, but I thought we had to explain everything, so we went in great detail of why he's not even a great quarterback, even though he spent his entire career at that position. And then he doesn't even match up at a real kind of physical size of what a tight end is in this league. So he couldn't make it as a quarterback, doing the quarterback every single year, every single day of his life, up through college, up until the NFL, and couldn't make it work then. But now he wants to be a tight end 9 years removed from the league, not even playing one snap at the tight end position. Oh, and did we remember when he tried out for the Patriots, and they're like, hey, you should probably slide over to the tight end position, because if not, you're going to be like our third string quarterback, maybe even fourth string. And honestly, we're going to cut you anyway, but you should probably switch over to tight end. And Tim Tebow was like, no, I will always be a quarterback. That's the only position. I will only be a quarterback, and I'm going to be good, and I'm going to be great. I just want a playoff game, and you want me to move over to tight end? Come on, I'm going to be the next Tom Brady out here. What are you talking about? And Bill Belichick was like, you're out. You're fired. Get out of here. And Tim Tebow was like, hey, what? I'm fired. You're just going to let me go? And Bill's like, you're still here? I told you to leave. Get out of here. And that security has to escort Tim Tebow out of the Patriots facility. But let's see what Bucky Brooks is saying that we are overreacting to. Let's see. Alrighty. Here we go. Bucky Brooks, everybody. Nothing sets off the Twitterverse like Tim Tebow, but I do not understand the outrage spawning from the Jacksonville Jaguars' interest in the former Heisman Trophy winner. Jeez, you're going to bring up the Heisman Trophy winner to make your argument of why this man's going to be good 9 years removed from the league? All right, I see we're already reaching already, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Anything else good here? What is he saying? While this situation is undeniably unique, yes, it is, with a 33-year-old attempting to transition from a quarterback to a tight end after an extended football layoff, I think the furor over Urban Meyer kicking the tires on one of the most decorated former players is over the top. One of the most decorated former players? One of the most decorated former players? What? The man's played in the NFL for 3 seasons, folks, and he's one of the most decorated former players? Oh my God, what are we saying out here? Are we nuts? In the NFL, coaches are prone to have pet cats who accompany them whenever they change teams. For instance, this offseason, we've seen Keanu Neal and DeMonte Kazee follow Dan Quinn to Dallas. Casey Hayward recently joined Gus Bradley in Las Vegas, and Kyle Fuller returned to Vic Fangio in Denver. Okay. I saw Richard Sherman not get picked right back up by Robert Saleh. So, I mean, it's not like, oh, my goodness, I have to have him on my team because, oh, my God, he played for me once. It's not like that. I mean, you still have to judge talent. They still have to be good. That's why, unfortunately, Robert Saleh is not calling. Why is Robert Saleh not calling Richard Sherman? Folks, we've been talking about that all offseason. It makes no sense to us. So, yes, there are coaches are prone to have pet cats. Oh, okay. But not Robert Saleh and Richard Sherman, so it doesn't need to be Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow. In addition, we've seen coaches add veterans with diminished games for reasons that go beyond the stat sheet, like John Gruden signing Jason Witten last year to serve as a mentor for a young Raiders roster, and Adam Gase added Frank Gore to the Jets lineup to provide more leadership in the locker room. Okay, did any of those players make the team better? Because the Raiders still struggled at the end of the season, and Adam Gase is still the worst head coach of all time. So this is not a good argument still that is being made here. What the? This man brings up Adam Gase and John Gruden trying to make the Urban Meyer situation look good. Those are not the coaches to bring up, folks. I cannot believe what people are saying out here. Alrighty. These reunions are driven by coach-player relationships built on trust, and Tebow's potential opportunity is another example. Meyer not only knows Tebow, but he trusts him implicitly due to their collective success at the University of Florida. The duo claimed a pair of national titles for the Gators, with the QB1 acting as an extension of the head coach as the team's undisputed leader. So he's an ass kisser. Okay, congrats. Tim Tebow, you're going to be playing for the Jags because you kiss Urban Meyer's ass so much. Congrats. If that's how you want to, be a pro football player, is that why you couldn't make it in baseball because there was no asses to kiss? I would say that's probably correlation. Most importantly, they built a bond based on mutual respect, admiration, and maniacal competitiveness. Given all that, it's not that hard to understand why Meyer would consider bringing in his former star pupil after the latter expressed an interest in returning to the NFL at a different position. All right, we have not signed him. Meyer clarified on Chris Collinsworth podcast. We went over that. There's a thought going around. He was the best. Yeah. I mean, these were the reasons that, Urban Meyer was kind of saying why they were bringing him in. He was in the best shape of his life. He asked if he could work out for the coaches. He did. They told him what to work on. He came back. He did it. He's still in the great shape. He's catching balls good, blah, blah, blah. With all that said, I'll admit that Tebow's sudden reemergence in the NFL would initially start that back. All that said, I'll admit that Tebow's sudden reemergence in the NFL world initially raised my eyebrows, and I come at this as a former player scout, current league-wide analyst, and in the interest of full disclosure, a Jaguars contributor in preseason color guy. Tim hasn't played in NFL regular season games since December of 2012. That's if that's not the main reason why you don't want Tim Tebow on your team, I don't know what to tell you. Moreover, of his 3 NFL seasons, so not only did he not play a game since December 2012, he only played 3 seasons, folks. That is the average lifespan of a not good player, of a not kind of superstar player in the NFL. And that's exactly what Tim Tebow is. Not a superstar, not an all-star, not even an above-average talent. He's a below-average garbage player. That gives you 3 seasons. He's ran his course. Don't bring him back 9 years later. It makes 0 sense. Moreover, of his 3 NFL seasons, only one was spent primarily as a starter. So he hasn't played since 2012. He only played 3 seasons, and only one of those seasons he was the primary starting quarterback. So what the hell are we even talking about? Why do we even need to go on even further? What are we talking about here? The rest of the time, he was basically a gadget curiosity. If anybody ever calls you a gadget curiosity, you leave. You leave that profession, that organization, that job, whatever it is, because that means you are garbage. You're a gadget curiosity. What the hell? I would not want to be called a gadget curiosity, folks. So that's what we got. Tim Tebow's a gadget curiosity. Oh, my gosh. All right, what else do we get here? What else is this man? What is this man's point? What is this man point? Here we go. Considering it has been over a decade since Tebow posted solid athletic testing numbers at the NFL Scouting Combine, it's been over a decade since he put up decent numbers? A 4.71 40-yard dash? Oh my gosh, y'all are going back to his combine days? Considering it has been over a decade since Tebow posted solid athletic testing numbers at the NFL Scouting Combine. 4.71 40-yard dash, 38.5-inch vertical leap, 4.17 20-yard shuffle, 6.66 second 3-cone drill. The veteran faces long odds in shaking off the rust and transitioning to a brand new position. Oh, gee, you think? The former signal caller must adjust to playing out of a 3-point stance while mastering the art of blocking and route running. In addition, he must exhibit the toughness and physicality to be an extension of the offensive line in the trenches and show enough competence as a pass catcher to be a credible threat in the aerial attack. Folks, you cannot teach a old dog new tricks. You cannot teach a garbage quarterback tight end skills. Come on. Still, while it's only natural to assume Tebow would struggle too much to make such a significant change at his advanced age, I was surprised by the optimism expressed to me by a former NFL tight ends coach. A former NFL tight ends coach. So he's not in the league anymore. So we're taking advice from a former NFL tight end coach on a former NFL player, a former NFL quarterback that has been removed 9 years from this league and now wants to go to the tight end, and you're gonna clamp onto that small little anecdotal fact about this man. So let's see what this former NFL tight ends coach is saying about Tim Tebow. Here it is, quote: Tebow is the perfect piece of clay to mold. Oh my God, this man's a piece of clay. They're calling him a gadget curiosity and a piece of clay, and everybody wants to get this man on your team. What are we doing, yo? For real? What are we even talking about Tim Tebow for? I can't even believe it. I cannot believe the words people are using on this man. Tebow is the perfect piece of clay to mold. Said the former coach, who has experience training former basketball players as tight ends. Quote, and how many of those have made it to the highest level of the league? Not many. Quote, he has toughness, intelligence, length, strength, and physicality. Plus, quarterbacks normally have excellent ball skills. Plus, quarterbacks normally have excellent ball skills. Well, Tebow doesn't. He had like 55% completion percentage. That was as high as he's ever hit. He had 49 at 1 year, folks. Come on, folks. What are we talking about here? Alrighty, we a couple more sentences here, and then we wrap it up. But that was a quote by the former NFL tight ends coach. Plus, quarterbacks normally have excellent ball skills. What about making a position switch at age 33? Quote, once again, by the former NFL tight ends coach, quote, by all accounts, he is in amazing shape and his competitive nature is off the charts. He has a chance to pull it off. He has a chance to pull it off. He has a chance to pull it off, folks. This is the language that they're using for a 33-year-old Make-A-Wish kid that couldn't get it done in baseball. So now he has to come back to the NFL and beg and plead to get another chance instead of just going and taking a chance on an actual tight end from the draft who's young and still can mold. You can mold. Everybody's moldable, folks. What are we talking about? So the fact that you would potentially pass up an opportunity to bring in an actual tight end, in not even just this year's draft class, in yet last year's draft class, in 2019's draft class, 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015, 2014, 2013. You're telling me none of those tight ends that, went undrafted deserve a shot more than Tim Tebow that has proven that he cannot get it done in the NFL? Alrighty. Let's finish up this story by, what's this man's name again? Bucky Brooks. Just to remember to never take whatever he says as anything ever again. Anything oh my Jesus. Anything that Bucky Brooks says will just hold no weight to now. Sure, Tebow is oh my God, folks. Sure, Tebow is unlikely to emerge as a Pro Bowl caliber playmaker, but he has the potential to fill a role as a Blake Bell-like contributor. The former Oklahoma quarterback has carved out a nice NFL career as a tight end 2, tight end 3. Tebow could follow a similar path to emerge as a rotational player, special teams contributor if he flashes enough athleticism and skill to stay on the field as a tight end / H-back. The potential signing of Tim Tebow has drawn in the ire of football fans far and wide, but such a move could be designed to bolster Jacksonville's new culture while adding depth at a position of need. Long story short, it's understandable that this coach could kick these particular tires. I cannot believe it, folks. So this man tells us why everybody's overreacting to the Jaguars' flirtation with Tim Tebow while literally saying nothing of substance of why we should not be overreacting. Okay. This is nonsense, folks. If Tim Tebow's in the league, I will not root for Urban Meyer. I will not root for the Jaguars at all this season. Simple as that. The man does not deserve to be in this league. That's it. He's trash. He's garbage. Tim Tebow's garbage. Hey, Tebow, you're a garbage NFL player. I don't know what else y'all want from me. That's it. Tim Tebow is garbage at football. Simple. But here we are, Bucky Brooks, everybody else saying, hey, we're all overreacting. Okay. He's a mold of clay. He's a gadget curiosity. Y'all just called him that, and you want him on your team. Laughable. Truly laughable. We got to move on because it's just nonsense at this point, folks. It's nonsense. Alrighty. Let's go to this. Urban Meyer once again making questionable decisions out here, maybe. So Travis Etienne, the running back that they just drafted, is only taking snaps at the wide receiver position. That's what he's doing. So let's read this quote here. This article with Travis Etienne. Etienne was the straw that stirred conversations on Saturday as the running back took reps from the wide receiver position. Quote. This is from Urban Meyer, quote, at the worst case scenario, you have a running back with the skill set of a wide receiver. Best case scenario, you'll have a hybrid player who does both, and that's what we're hoping to develop for Travis Etienne. Meyer said Etienne will take all of his reps at wideout for the extent of his 3-day minicamp. Etienne revealed after practice that Meyer told him he'd be working as a pass catcher the day after the Jags selected him at number 25 overall. Quote from Etienne, I feel great about it. It's going to help me maximize my opportunity and skill set. I feel like coach knows what he's doing, and I think it's going to work out well. Football is a game of matchups. We're just trying to get the best matchup. I feel like he knows what he's doing, and I think it's going to work out well. So that's all good and fine, but we just told you that Urban Meyer is thinking about bringing on Tim Tebow, so we can't trust his judgment. So we'll see if this kind of Travis Etienne catching balls out of the backfield is going to work out. So that's what he's using his second overall pick in the first round for, not just a running back, a pass catcher as well. And if we look at what he did in his career catching the ball, where is that at? Do I still have that up? I thought I had that up. It was like 400 yards this season. Last season, 400 yards. So nothing great. Solid work out there. He ran for like 1,600 yards and caught for 400 yards. That was like his best season in college, rushing and passing. So that's what Travis Etienne is doing. I don't trust Urban Meyer, so I'm not going to trust that he's going to be able to make Travis Etienne be a good pass-catching running back. So I have no faith in Urban Meyer anymore, folks. So it's unfortunate, but he's coming into this league, never being a head coach before, shaking up everything, bringing in Tim Tebow, wanting to bring in Tim Tebow, and he hasn't even proved that he can win in this league yet. And we just kind of, we talked about Nick Saban in the NFL last week on the show, him not getting it to work out. So, everything is stacked against Urban Meyer. We'll see if it pans out. All right, let's head over to this. Oh, my goodness. The Packers add another quarterback to the roster. So now they've got 4 quarterbacks, folks. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, Blake Bortles, and now they just signed Kurt Benkert. That's his name. Kurt Benkert, rookie quarterback. That's who the Packers signed. So I don't know what the hell is going on. Obviously, it's probably just for, training camp and mini camps and all that until they have to make the cut. So they're probably not. I wouldn't imagine them. And I wouldn't suspect that they would have 4 quarterbacks on their official roster at the, at their final 53-man roster. That would make absolutely no sense. So we'll see how it's looking out here. It's real fishy that they're bringing in new quarterbacks. Jordan Love obviously isn't panning out as well as they thought he would be. So we'll see how many quarterbacks the Packers keep, but it's real kind of fishy that they're bringing in all these quarterback talents. Jordan Love's not panning out. Aaron Rodgers should still be there. Hopefully he's still there when the season comes, but I don't know what Matt LaFleur and this Packers team is doing bringing in all these quarterbacks. I don't think it makes any sense. If it's just for, competition in practice and in OTAs and minicaps and all that, then I guess that's fine. But it just kind of speaks that they kind of swung and a miss with Jordan Love 2 years ago. Once again, just making Aaron Rodgers right of why the hell would you even do that? Making everybody else right because that was one of the most head-scratching calls of a draft ever. So that's who they just signed, folks. Blake Bortles and Kurt Benkert. We'll see if they work out. Alrighty, let's move on to this last NFL story of the day here. Steelers rookie running back Najee Harris, quote, "I'm going to be utilized everywhere," and I freaking love it because this man, in my opinion, is the best running back in this year's draft class. You know, we've said it. We've ranked them. We've ranked all of the kind of the prospects that we've seen. We've ranked them. Here he is, Najee Harris, number 1, Travis Etienne, number 2, and then a big drop off between number 3 and number 4 there, Javonte Williams and Michael Carter. But let's see what the Steelers and Najee Harris are planning on here. Any good quotes? So, just a couple of days into rookie minicamp, Steelers coach Mike Tomlin is getting an up-close look at what has separated Harris from his peers. Quote, "I think he is as highly conditioned as anybody out there, and that's a great place to begin. I think he's got a nice foundation from that perspective. He's a sharp guy. He's a football guy. You can tell he's passionate about football. He can articulate the game very well, so there's a lot to be excited about." Harris has begun to deliver on that promise before putting on the pads. Rookie camp is a time for teaching, with limited numbers creating a more intimate setting. Tomlin said the first-round pick has especially impressed in his one-on-one time with running backs coach Eddie Faulkner. Quote here by Mike Tomlin, "It provides plenty of opportunity for him to verbalize his knowledge and things of that nature." There's been football highlights as well. Harris showed off his pass catching ability Saturday with another one-handed grab, which led to a humorous exchange with a Steelers beat reporter who asked about the play afterward. "You saw that?" Harris responded. "You guys were here? Where were you guys at?" So once again, I mean, why we like Najee Harris so much was because of that national championship game, or in the playoffs at least, where he reaches back one-handed on a poorly thrown ball by Mac Jones. He reaches back one-handed, secures the catch, and then is able to head upfield, avoids all the tacklers for the last 15 yards for the touchdown. So we love it. So when, Urban Meyer's talking about having Travis Etienne be a pass catcher, did you not watch Najee Harris at Alabama? We loved him catching the ball. He was fantastic at it. So once again, I know Najee Harris wasn't there at the time. I get it. He was picked the pick right before the Jaguars picked Travis Etienne. But we just love Najee Harris so much better. So him getting all these kind of, catching opportunities, catching the ball out of the backfield, we like that a lot more because, A, we can't trust Urban Meyer's decision-making. And Travis Etienne, we kind of like Najee Harris catching the balls out of the backfield a little bit better. Alrighty. Anything else here? The first year back was less enthused when asked if he had returned to Alabama for his senior season to sharpen his receiving skills. Harris noted the Steelers have discussed deploying him regularly in the passing game and even splitting him out wide at times. Quote, "I've always been catching the ball, man. I always do that. Not to brag or nothing, but it's like, it wasn't luck, I can tell you that. Since y'all was watching, I'll do it again. Nah, I'm going to get in trouble, but it's not something I work on. It's just I've been doing that since middle school. I got big hands, man. Do you not know? He's like 6'2", 6'3", folks. This man's a big running back. A lot of people underestimate the size of a running back position, but we see Derrick Henry changing the game here at 6'3", 6'4", absolutely mammoth. And Najee Harris is now the second tallest running back in this league. Aside from the Falcons, Cordell Patterson, who's, really nothing in this league, wide receiver, running back. He's not that good at either of those positions, unfortunately. So, yeah, I mean, we love Najee Harris, man. I love that, he's still going to be getting it done in the ground game. He is good at the running game. He doesn't need to kind of practice catching the ball. He does this, folks. So don't disrespect Najee Harris. He's going to make an immediate impact this season. He's going to be a huge reason why, if the Steelers do have success this season, it's going to be probably 95% Najee Harris, honestly, because we know Big Ben's arm is going to flounder as the season progresses. We just saw it last season. And Mother Nature, Father Time, it catches up with everybody. Tom Brady seems to be the only exception. But even he was throwing ducks in the playoffs and getting bailed out by the defense. So, yeah, love me some Najee Harris, truly, folks. All right, and then the last story to talk about here, Kyrie Irving back, talking to the media here. obviously, because he got fined 35 grand for not doing this. So Kyrie Irving, he goes to the press conference, and I don't like it. I don't like it, folks. He's basically says, hey, I'm not going to be talking basketball. I'm really not going to be answering any of your questions because I can't really, there's more important things to talk about. And let me just preface it by saying this. Yes, of course, there's bigger things than sports and basketball and football and making money and all that. I 1,000% understand that, folks. This show Takes by Fans, me, I only care about the sports, folks. This is why I do the show, for the sports. I don't talk about anything else here. I only talk about the sports, competition, wins and losses, your performances, and every single game. That's all I care about talking about, and that's all I will talk about on the show. So the fact that Kyrie Irving is coming to this kind of press conference when the playoffs are coming up, and now he's like, my head's really, how can my head be, 100% into basketball when, basketball doesn't even really matter, and, there's more important things. He, talks about the conflict in Israel, and, once again, everybody has an opinion on that, and, okay, hey, you have an opinion on that, vocalize it, okay, do whatever, folks, do whatever you want, I don't care, whatever y'all do, I don't care, but everybody has, everybody's vocalizing their opinion about this. It seems a little too coordinated, but once again, I'm not going to get into all that. And Kyrie Irving just coming out here and, as playoffs are starting to begin, his head's not really in it, it feels like. And we see this time and time. This is classic Kyrie Irving, folks. If you ever know Kyrie Irving, this is classic. He gets in trouble by not going to the media. He wants to be, an over-vocalized voice and, public opinion and policy and, just kind of humanity. I'm trying to look for the right word. I'm not getting it. Social justice. That's what it is. He wants to be so vocal on social justice and this and that. Once again, that's great. That's great. That's great. Some people have to do that. Absolutely, 100%. But for this show, I only care what you're doing on the court and the fact that, he's not getting prepared for the playoffs and all that because there's bigger things. Folks, you can concentrate on more than one thing at a time, and to say that you can is just truly nonsense. Oh, I can't play basketball at a high level and answer all your questions. I have to talk about Israel before. I have to talk Israel. It's more important, and I got to just talk about it, and, I got to spend all my time thinking about that and what I can do and what I can do to be better and all this, so I can't even focus on my job of basketball and all this, so I can't answer y'all's questions. So that's where we're at with Kyrie Irving, and it's just super frustrating. He's so big, talker of how good he is, how great he is. They're going to win the ring this year, all this. He puts in all the work, and he gets he feels disrespected when you don't call him the greatest of all time or even in that conversation of one of the greatest basketball players to ever play the game. But we get stuff like this. You just said your heart's not even in it. Your full heart isn't in it. So we're not going to kind of, talk about you as one of the greatest of all times like Kobe. Kobe put every single hour into basketball, and he was, still a public figure and still social justice. Maybe not as big as Kyrie Irving is, but, he was still getting it done on the basketball floor and being an influence in the community. So the fact that, you're saying that you can't do this, maybe you can't do this because you're not mentally fortified, mentally tough enough to do it, but don't kind of, have all these, making excuses before the playoffs start. Hey, I can't really focus on basketball. There's just so much going on right now in the world, and it's just so devastating to me to think about all this, and I can't really answer your questions, and I can't really focus on basketball, and so it's just frustrating to see, folks. So we're gonna do our power rankings in a little bit, and this kind of Kyrie Irving non-leadership on the basketball court, it's gonna ding the Knicks overall in our power rankings, and I will stand by it. I do not care. So that's where we're at with Kyrie Irving, the social justice warrior that can't focus on basketball and social justice issues at the same time, apparently. Alrighty, those are all the stories that we needed to go over for today. Let's head over to the NBA. We're not going to spend too much time what happened yesterday in the league. We are going to kind of spend a lot of time on our power rankings and the games on today. Try to get that moneymaker in the next 10 minutes. So let's see what we can do. Let's run over basketball very, very quickly from last night. So here we go. First game up, Wizards, Cavs, and well done by this Wizards team. They have the chance to capture the number 8 seed, the Hornets and Wizards, 8 and 9, both with the same record. Play today, and whoever wins gets the 8th seed. 2 chances to get into the playoffs, and whoever gets that 9th seed has to face the Pacers round 1. You better win that game to get a chance to get into the playoffs. So absolutely well done by the Wizards last night. Bradley Beal did not play. Russell Westbrook, 21 points, 17 assists, 12 rebounds. Fantastic. Only 1 turnover. Magnificent. Davis Bertans, 17 points. We'll take that. 3 of 11 for 3. Not the greatest, but I'll take those 17 points. Rui Hachimura, 14 points off the bench. What do we get here? Daniel Gafford, 12 points. Ish Smith, 11 points. Anthony Gill, 12 points. Garrison Matthews, 9 points. Robin Lopez, 14 points. So great showing by everybody last night for the Wizards, and they get the win. So very well done. All right, Nuggets beat the Pistons easily. The Pistons are absolutely trash. We know this. Nuggets get the win. Let's see who was putting up work here for this Nuggets team. Michael Porter Jr. only 9 points. Really lackluster last night. Only 27% shooting. Luckily, this is still in the regular season. This is the only game he's floundered on all season, so we're not going to put too much weight in it. Jokic, 20 points, 11 assists, 15 rebounds. What else do we get here? Austin Rivers in the starting lineup, 8 points. Once again, he didn't play the best. 2-5 from the 3. Marcus Howard at the starting 1, 20 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. Alrighty, another kind of good sense here, since a lot of the starters of the Nuggets didn't play. Facundo Campazzo not playing, Aaron Gordon not playing, so Marcus Howard stepping in at the starting 1 and having 20 points. That's pretty dang good, because that's what the Nuggets are going to need. A little bit of depth at the point guard position. So very well done for this Nuggets team continuing on to win. 76ers blow out the Magic. Easy peasy there. This Magic team is trash. We know. The 76ers, Joel Embiid, 13 points, 11 rebounds. All the starters only playing 25 minutes because it was an absolute blowout. So very well done to the 76ers. Really kind of claiming that number 1 seed. Jazz, Thunder. Jazz get the win again. Very well done to this Jazz team. Let's see who is going on. Bogdanovich, 22 points, 2 of 5 from the 3, 50% from the field. Classic Bogdanovich, great shooting game. Mike Conley back in the starting lineup now. Only played 16 minutes, 10 points, 3 assists, but just getting Mike Conley back is huge. Rudy Gobert, 16 points, 18 rebounds, just eating up on that glass. Jordan Clarkson off the bench, 18 points, and Georges Niang going back down to the bench here, 11 points. I mean, we saw, his great 2 games of scoring, never reproduced that again, and now he's back down off the bench. So Mike Conley's back in. Joe Ingles still in the starting lineup. Didn't do well either, 28% shooting, but they faced the Thunder, so an easy win there. Kings, Grizzlies. Grizzlies get the win, which still makes them the 9th seed, but the Warriors and the Grizzlies play today. I don't think they play each other, but they both had the opportunity to go out and get that 8th seed. Warriors win, they're in, and the Grizzlies need to win, and the Warriors need to lose for the Grizzlies to move up to that 9th seed. So once again, just today, just alone, every team playing, and a lot of movement still able to kind of happen here in the top 10. So well done for the Grizzlies getting that 1-point win over the Kings last night. Mavericks, Raptors. Mavericks get the win, 114-110. Porzingis back in the lineup here. He is, again. So 2 good games for Porzingis out here. Tim Hardaway Jr. still in the starting lineup, but he didn't have a good night last night. 7 points on 9% shooting, 1 of 8 from the 3. Porzingis with 21 points, 10 rebounds, and Doncic with 20 points, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds. Classic games by all of them. But definitely want to see Tim Hardaway Jr. be a little bit more efficient out there, a little bit more consistent in that starting lineup. Clippers, Rockets. Rockets get the win. Clippers are kind of locked in at this number 4 seed right here. Oh, no, they actually fell out. Yeah, real interesting that they decided to really rest all their players, because now the Clippers are the 4th seed. Maybe they're just trying not to kind of face, they want to kind of face the Mavericks, it kind of looks like. So maybe they're kind of, gaming the system to get a more favorable matchup in the first round. And hey, I'm not going to knock it. I'm going to see how it plays out, but I'm not going to knock it. But hey, the Nuggets are the 3rd seed in the West now, and I'm all about that. I love this Nuggets team. So, but yeah, this Clippers team, everybody really resting. Serge Ibaka's finally back, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. He's going to definitely be needed. He came off the bench. I think he is still going to stay off the bench, but we'll see if he gets back in the starting lineup when the playoffs start. So it'll be interesting to see what their starting lineup will look like with Serge Ibaka back. And then the last game of the night, the Warriors and the Pelicans, and the Warriors get the win, 125-122. Once again, the Warriors resting everybody, and I didn't really like that decision because they had the opportunity to get that number 8th seed. So it just works out for them because the Pelicans were kind of resting all their players as well because they have nothing to play for. So let's quickly go over the Pelicans. How are our players doing? Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 30 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Love that, man. Yes, sir. And then Jackson Hayes off the bench, 19 points, 8 rebounds in 24 minutes. I will take that from those 2 players as well. So not bad there. And then this Warriors team, just kind of Michael Mulder, 28 points. Kent Bazemore, 14 points. Jordan Poole, 38 points. Absolutely very well done. So a lot of kind of, teams resting players yesterday, all coming into today's action. Every single player, every single team is playing tonight. So let's head over to our moneymaker. Games are tipping off at 1 o'clock today, so that's why we're trying to go through this quickly. And let's get our moneymaker on track. We are 6 minutes away from 1 o'clock. And I believe games will be tipping off at 1:10. Yes, 1:10 is the official tip-off time. So our final regular season money maker of the year, folks. Let's end this one on a bang. We're going to take all the great value we can find, and maybe we have like a 6, 7, 8, 9 teamer. Could you imagine a 15 teamer? Let's do it. Should we do it? Should we choose all of these games? It's the last day of the regular season, folks. Let's go off without a bang, so we will be choosing every spread here. We'll have a 15-teamer, and we'll bet it, and we'll make a lot of money off of it. So here we go. Celtics, Knicks. Celtics plus 12.5. Knicks minus 12.5. Alrighty. No real... Well, let's first say who's in and out here. So Kemba Walker out, Tristan Thompson out, Evan Fournier out, Marcus Smart out, Jaylen Brown's out for the season, Jason Tatum out, and Robert Williams out. Now, those players are all out because the Celtics team is locked into the 7th seed. They cannot move up. They cannot move down. This Knicks team, just Mitchell Robinson is out. They have the opportunity to stay at the 4th seed. They can drop down to potentially the 6th seed by the end of today. So they're definitely going to want to be out for the win. Celtics are resting everybody, so we have to take the Knicks minus 12. All right, then we get the Hornets and the Wizards now. Hornets plus 6.5, Wizards minus 6.5. Winner gets the 8th seed in the Western Conference play-in tournament seed. So for the Hornets, everybody's good to go. Just Cody Martin is out, and Gordon Hayward is still out. For the Wizards, Raul Neto was out, and that's it. So a huge game here for both these teams. I like the Wizards to win, but I'm going to give it up for the Hornets to be competitive. We're going to take the 6.5. Hornets have a lot to play for. I don't think they win. I still think the Wizards win, but I'm going to take the points here. Plus 6.5. Hornets, please step it up. They have really shown us anything great ever since LaMelo Ball came back, unfortunately. I thought they would pick up exactly where they left off. That has not been the case, but I'm going to take that they are competitive in the last regular game of the season to try to get that 8th seed for 2 chances at the playoffs and not just the 1. So we'll take the Hornets plus 6.5 points. Then we get Pacers, Raptors. All right, Pacers are locked in. No, not locked into that 10 seed. Can they move up? They can move up to the 9th seed if they win. If they win, they will move up to the 9th seed because the Hornets and the Wizards one of those teams will have to lose. So back to the spread here. Pacers minus 6.5, Raptors plus 6.5. Trying not to be number 10. They are either number 9 or number 10. So they're going to be, bottom 9, 10 there. One chance to get into the playoffs. But they could have home court advantage for that first game, which, definitely would help them out a little bit. But for the Pacers, Jeremy Lamb is out, Malcolm Brogdon is out, Miles Turner's out, Edmund Sumner's out, Aaron Holiday's out. And then for the Raptors, Kyle Lowry's out, Fred VanVleet out, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, Paul Watson, Yuta Watanabe is all out. So we got to go the Pacers here, minus 6.5. They have a lot to play for. Raptors are resting everybody. Suns, Spurs, Suns minus 3.5, Spurs plus 3.5. Already the Suns have the ability to try to get to that number 1 seed, depending on if they have the tiebreaker with the Jazz. So Suns minus 3.5, Spurs plus 3.5. Let's see if everybody's good to go for both these teams. And I believe the Spurs are locked into that 10th seed here in the West. Yes, they are. Spurs are definitely locked into that 10th seed. There's 5 games out from the 9th seed. Jeez Louise. All right, Spurs, Suns, where is this game at? Here we go. Alrighty, ins and out. Out for the Suns, Chris Paul is out with rest, Cameron Johnson is out, Devin Booker is out, and DeAndre Ayton is out. So they must be locked into that number 2 seed even if they win and the Jazz lose tonight. So can't really do anything here. And then the Spurs, Patty Mills is out with rest, Trey Lyles is out, and Lucas Samanik is out. So big game here. Well, not even a big game. It's just who's going to step up here. And I can't really trust anybody on that Spurs team besides Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. So we're going to take the Spurs plus 3.5 points tonight. Grizzlies, Warriors now. Alrighty. Winner gets the 8th seed. An absolute big matchup here for both of these teams. So both these teams are definitely going to try to win this game. So let's see who's in and out. Grayson Allen is out for the Grizzlies. And for the Warriors, Kelly Oubre Jr. is out. Damian Lee is out. So can't bet against this Warriors team. They always rise to the occasion. Is Steph Curry with the chance to claim that number 8 seed. They go out and get it. This Grizzlies team has just never done anything meaningful all season. Can never rely on them. So we'll take the Warriors minus 3.5 points tonight. All right, then we get the Rockets and the Hawks. Rockets plus 8.5. Hawks minus 8.5. Alrighty, the Hawks here. Potential to move up to the 4th seed. Potential to fall back to the 6th seed, depending on the tiebreakers with the Heat if they win. So, still a meaningful game here for the Hawks tonight. Where the Rockets, obviously, they've been done for a long time. So, for the Rockets, Eric Gordon is out, John Wall is out, Avery Bradley's out, Daniel House Jr. is out, Sterling Brown's out, Christian Wood's out, David Webb is out, and Kevin Porter Jr. is out. But, hey, Kelly Olynyk is still there, and he's been balling. He's been balling with the only good player on that Rockets team. He's getting it done. He's averaging like a triple-double almost, like 29 and 11 when he's like the only person out there. So, I'll give him credit. And then for the Hawks, Tony Snell is a game-time decision. Cam Reddish, game-time decision. No, Cam Reddish is out. Kevin Huerter is a game-time decision. But we got to go with the Hawks here, minus 8.5. Just swallow the points there. Must-win game for them. Huge win game for them. So we'll take the Hawks. Magic, 76ers. Magic plus 7.5. 76ers minus 7.5. Alrighty, I think they may be locked into that number 1 seed here. Let's see who's all able to go here. For the Magic, Terrence Ross is out. James Ennis is out. Otto Porter's out. Michael Carter's out. Wendell Carter is a game-time decision. RJ Hampton is a game-time decision. And then for the 76ers, Danny Green, game-time decision. Seth Curry, game-time decision. Joel Embiid, game-time decision. Ben Simmons, game-time decision. Shake Milton, game-time decision. Matisse Thybulle, game-time decision. Furkan Korkmaz, game-time decision. But with all that being said, we'll take the 76ers minus 7.5. I'll take the 76ers B team over the Magic C team any day of the week. We'll swallow the points there. Cavs, Nets, Cavs plus 13, Nets minus 13. Alrighty. A potential for this Nets team to move back down to the Bucks. We know they don't have the tiebreaker anymore, so we'll see what happens here. For the Cavs and the Nets. Out for the Cavs, Kevin Love, Teron Prince, Larry Nance Jr., Matthew Dellavedova, Isaiah Hartenstein, Lamar Stevens are all out for the Cavs. But Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Jared Allen, all good to go. And then for the Nets, Joe Harris is out. Chris Chiozza is out. But the big three are all playing. We'll take the Nets minus 13. Heat, Pistons. Heat minus 5. Pistons plus 5. Let's see what we get here. For this Heat team, potential to move up to the 4th seed. Potential to move up to the 5th seed. No chance of moving back to the 7th. But so if everything goes wrong, they'll still be the 6th seed by the end of today. Alrighty, so here we go for the Heat. Just Jimmy Butler's a game-time decision. And then for the Pistons, basically everybody's out. Wayne Ellington out. Rodney McGruder out. Corey Joseph is a game-time decision. Jeremy Grant is out. Frank Jackson is a game-time decision. Dennis Smith is out. Isaiah Stewart is out. So we'll take the Heat minus 5 here. Nice win. Maybe elevates them, 1 seed, 2 seeds potentially. We'll have them winning. All right. Lakers, Pelicans, Lakers, minus 8, Pelicans, plus 8. No real chance to move here for the Lakers. Oh, no, they can move up to the 6th seed. They can get out of the play-in tournament with a win and a Blazers loss. So, of course, the Lakers are going to be going 100% here. LeBron doesn't want to play in no play-in tournament. What are you, nuts? I don't know. I don't even think LeBron James will even play in one of those games. So everybody's good to go for the Lakers besides Jared Dudley. And then for the Pelicans, James Johnson's a game-time decision. Steven Adams is out. Josh Hart is out. Brandon Ingram's out. Lonzo Ball's out. Zion Williamson's out. So all their starters are out. We'll take the Lakers minus 8. Nuggets, Blazers, Nuggets plus 9.5, Blazers minus 9.5. Real interesting there. Seems just off the spread, it seems like a lot of players for the Nuggets will be resting, which I really don't like because they are already the 3rd seed and can drop down to the 4th seed if they lose and the Clippers win. But let's see who's all good to go here for this Nuggets team. Oh, interesting. Will Barton's out and PJ Dozier's out. And everybody's good to go for the Blazers besides Zach Collins, and they're getting plus 9.5 points? What? A chance to secure the 3rd seed here? to potentially play the Mavericks, the Lakers, or the Blazers, depending on who's going to be at number 6 at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, it's the Nuggets with the chance to secure the 3rd seed. I'll take them plus 9.5 points, no problem. Absolutely. Alrighty, Clippers, Thunder. Clippers -8, Thunder +8. Let's see who's all good to go for this Clippers team. DeMarcus Cousins is a game-time decision, and Amir Coffey is out. Terrence Mann is a game-time decision. So, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, all playing. Everybody's good to go. And then for the Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander out. Luguentz Dort is out. Mike Muscala is out. So, they're going to have a lot of their players good to go, but I'm taking this Clippers team -8, a chance to try and get to that 3rd seed. Of course, they're going to try and take that. So, we don't know where the Lakers are going to end up by the end of tonight. So the fact that these Nuggets and Clippers team are going to plan on taking so they don't face the Lakers, I don't think it's that smart of a strategy. I don't know if it will pay off that much in the outcome in the long run. There it is. We'll take the Clippers -8 points there. All right, last 3 games here. Jazz, Kings. Jazz -8.5. Kings +8.5. Let's see who's all good to go for the Jazz here. Just Donovan Mitchell is still out, but hey, Mike Conley's still good to go. And then for the Kings, Hassan Whiteside, a game-time decision. Harrison Barnes is out. Raquan Holmes is out. Justin James is out. De'Aaron Fox is out. And Marvin Bagley's out. So the Jazz here, kind of like we said, locked into this number 1 seed, especially with that Suns team kind of, resting all their good players. But the Jazz want to end on a high note. We'll take them -8.5. Alrighty, we have exceeded the number of picks here on our moneymaker. You cannot do more than 12 picks on a parlay. So you'll just have to use your imagination that we did pick the Jazz -8.5. All right, then we get the Mavericks and the Timberwolves. Mavericks -6.5, Timberwolves +6.5. Let's get the ins and outs for these teams here. JJ Redick's out. Maxi Kleber's a game-time decision. For the Timberwolves, everybody's good to go besides Malik Beasley. So this Mavericks team has the ability to fall down to the 6th seed, fall down to the 7th seed, depending on where the tiebreakers are falling. But we'll take the Mavericks -6 here. I like the Timberwolves, don't get me wrong. But, Mavericks with the chance to really kind of secure their seeding, I say they go out and get it. And then the last game of the night, the Bucks and the Bulls. Bucks -2, Bulls +2. Bucks, everybody is good to go for them. Interesting there. Can't really move up, can't really move down, so they are stuck in that 3rd seed. So, if come game time, everybody's out, that makes a lot of sense. And then for the Bulls, Zach LaVine's a game-time decision. Daniel Tice, game-time decision. Bulls have nothing to play for. Bucks have nothing to play for. But we'll take the Bucks -2 just to take it. Because we said we're taking every game here. So, all right, a 12-teamer here. The odds are $229,450. So if you put $10 on it, if you put $10 on this 12-teamer here, you could win $22,000 on just $10, folks. If you bump it up to $100, if you're feeling real risky tonight, if you bet $100 on this, you can win $229,000. So that's how you do it, folks. Knicks -12, Hornets +6.5, Pacers -6.5, Spurs +3.5, Warriors +3.5. No, Warriors -3.5. Hawks -8.5, 76ers -7.5, Nets -13, Heat -5, Lakers -8, Nuggets +9.5, Clippers -8. $100 pays $23,000, folks. Let's all be rich tonight, yeah? 237,000. Woof, woof. I'm taking it. Alrighty, that's our moneymaker for today. Games are going to be tipping off in the next 2 minutes, so that's fantastic. Got that in right in time. Alrighty, now let's head over to our final NBA power rankings of the regular season, folks. Today is the last day. Don't really see too many games affecting our final power rankings. Like we said at the top of the show, if we have to come back tomorrow, maybe tweak 1 or 2 teams, we will. Don't see that happening. So, here we go. Our final power rankings. Regular season's ending. Play-in tournament starts on Tuesday. Tomorrow on Monday, we will go kind of step through step through the playoff series, through the play-in tournaments to crown our winner of the NBA Finals before the playoffs officially start. So that's what we're doing tomorrow on the show. But we have to get our power rankings done before the end of before all that stuff goes on. So here we go. I'm going to just eliminate all this. Our power rankings through the regular season, we kind of take it week by week. What have you been doing that week? So our final power rankings are really going to include everything that has happened this season, focusing, weighing heavily more what has really happened ever since the All-Star break, ever since the trade deadline, and really kind of the last 2-3 weeks of the season. We'll weigh that a little bit heavier than what has kind of, happened, week 1, week 2 in this league. So let's have a blank canvas here. Let's get all these. We're not even going to have a number 11 seed anymore. That was just kind of for the playing tournaments, but, all those kind of outside teams looking in all floundered. There's really been no change of team in the top 10 in a long while, so unfortunate for all those teams. The Bulls, the Kings, all having real good chances. The Pelicans not able to take advantage. Alrighty, so let's clear out our power rankings here. Then we'll go through 10 through 1. And crown who we think, just based on the regular season alone, is the best teams in the league. So here we go, starting off at number 10. The number 10 team, we're going to give it up to the Blazers. Alrighty. Damian Lillard has kind of been, when, he was just by himself with no CJ McCollum or Nurkic, he was truly getting it done. They were like the 4th seed at one point with just Damian Lillard and was looking absolutely fantastic. Then CJ McCollum and Nurkic came back and they hit a little bit of a rough patch trying to get it all figured out. But now at the end of the season, they're 9-1 in their last 10. What do they got? 8-2 in their last 10, 6th seed overall, trying to really maintain that official playoff status and not fall down to the play-in tournament tonight. So, got to give up for the Blazers here. CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard, Nurkic, all getting it done. The worst thing about this team is the bench. It's absolutely horrendous. They only really are playing 3 players off their bench now. Enes Kanter, Carmelo Anthony, and Anthony Simons. And Enes Kanter is the best out of those 3. Carmelo Anthony's been really shaky, and Anthony Simons has really done nothing great this entire year. So, this Blazers bench, if they want to go far in the playoffs, they need their bench to get it done. There's only so much that Damian Lillard can kind of carry this team to. This Blazers team this year is kind of like the Blazers team of these last 3 years of where, they're all solid teams. They're all really solid, but they don't have far playoff runs. They're never really kind of true championship contenders. So is this the Blazers season? Probably not. I hope so. I mean, Damian Lillard is the clutchest player in the NBA right now. I would really love for him to have a really deep playoff run where he's been getting it done and he's reliable and the team is just working great together. But once again, this Blazers bench will be the death of them. But we'll put them at number 10. Alrighty, number 9, we're going to go the Knicks, and got to give this team so much love, man. They've been really just consistent ever since 2 weeks before the All-Star break. That's really when they caught their stride, and they never looked back for the rest of the season, folks. Climbing all the way to the 4th seed right now, currently last day in the regular season, 40 wins, 6-4 in their last 10, top 4 of the Eastern Conference, and the Eastern Conference is worse than the Western Conference in totality, but what this Knicks team has been doing with really no superstar, I mean, they got Julius Randle, RJ Barrett. Okay, I mean, it's nothing great on that team. They don't have a Damian Lillard. They don't have a Kyrie Irving, a LeBron James, an Anthony Davis, a Joel Embiid, a Jimmy Butler, a Trae Young. They don't have any of that, but they are still getting it done defensively. We'll see if they can keep it up. What this Knicks team is going to really struggle in the playoffs is their offensive scoring. Can they get it done? We know they've got great defense. Tom Thibodeau-led defense. They're the number 1 defense in the NBA for points allowed per game, so fantastic to that. But they don't have that superstar to go get it done. They are very reliant on their bench. They need their bench to get it done every single game if they want to have a chance to win that game. Derrick Rose has been showing out, and, we've got no problems with that, but he is going to have to keep up that 20 games of point scoring if they want to make it far. Off the bench, Taj Gibson, he's a good big, but at 6'9", is he going to be able to compete with Joel Embiid and Giannis down low in this playoff series? It's going to be tough, and Nerlens Noel, I like the guy, but I mean, as far as bigs go in the Eastern Conference, he's not even, up there, one of the best out there. So the Knicks defense all around is very good, but how deep, how far is it going to be able to carry them? Because we know the offense is truly kind of lackluster in totality compared to all these other teams. They don't have, endless scorers. They got two good scorers, Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, but besides that, can we really rely on anybody else on this Knicks team? It's going to be tough, but I'm going to respect the hell out of this Knicks team. We're putting them in the top 10. We're not even going to put them at 10. We elevate them up to 9. Love what they've been doing. Let's see what they can do in this playoffs. But the way they turned around this season, got to give it up for them. So Knicks at 9. Alrighty, number 8. Little low here, but we are going to put the Lakers. Obviously, LeBron James has missed a huge part of this back half of the season, in which, they're our number 8. They haven't been in our power rankings in totality for the last... And we do this every week, every Friday we do this. And I mean, we have not had the Lakers on in probably 2 months. Ever since LeBron James went down, I honestly think we have not had them in the top 10. But we know what they can do with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Andre Drummond now. I mean, they got the beef down low. That's going to be the best thing about this Lakers team. But these role players, these outside scorers, we know Dennis Schroeder's good, but once again, he was kind of injured for, a lot of this back half of the season out with the COVID-19. So that's why the Lakers have not been in our power rankings, but we are going to elevate them to number 8 here. It's LeBron James, folks. I mean, come on. It's LeBron. You can never go against the man. You can never bet against the man. You can never not root for the man. He will always kind of bite you in the butt. He will always go get it done. So going to trust the Lakers here, defending champions, AD, LeBron James, Andre Drummond, all getting it done, and then Dennis Schroeder at the 1, and then whoever's at the 2, just have a decent game, but we need the bench to step it up. We need Kyle Kuzma. I mean, Kyle Kuzma never steps up unless he's like the only player. If LeBron's out, if Anthony Davis out, if Dennis Schroeder's out, if Andre Drummond's out, then Kyle Kuzma steps up, and still even at that, it's a little kind of iffy. Taylor Horton-Tucker definitely needs to be the main man scoring off the bench. We need Montrezl Harrell. It's really going to come down to this Lakers bench. The starters are going to get it done because LeBron will the team to a win, will facilitate the floor fantastically. So we'll put the Lakers at number 8. Let's see what they can do when they're all finally healthy, thank goodness. And we'll get a little bit of a sneak peek tonight because the Lakers are trying to go for that number 6 seed. So Lakers, prove us right that you deserve to be this 8 seed by getting it done tonight. We'll see what happens. Alrighty, number 7 seed now, it's going to be the Nets, man. It's going to be the Nets for a couple of reasons. The first reason, I don't like their bigs, folks. Nicholas Claxton is their best big, and they're still starting like Blake Griffin every game. I don't like that at all. At all, I don't like it. So we just saw them kind of get bitched a little bit by the Bucks in those back-to-back games, like last week, 2 weeks ago. Definitely not a good look there. This Nets team does not have any meaningful bigs. I mean, Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan in their prime couldn't get it done with Chris Paul. So I don't really see them getting it done outside of their prime now. Yes, they have Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving. That is fantastic. That is the best thing about this Nets team. They also are kind of relatively deep in their shooters. They still got Bruce Brown. They still got Joe Harris. So they still have nice shooters besides the big 3. It's just the beef down low that we are a little concerned about. Another concern here for this Nets team, while we have them a little bit lower than I think a lot of people have them, is that Kyrie Irving. I can't trust him as a leader, folks. The only leader on this team is James Harden. That is it. Kevin Durant's not a leader, and Kyrie Irving's not a leader. We just told you about his press conference yesterday where he's like, my head's not really into basketball because of outside world issues. And that's fine, but what we talk about on the show is pure sports alone. What you're doing on the court. That's all where your mindset is in the game of the sport. Basketball, football, that's what we cover here. Great for you that you're a social justice, champion out there in your community. Absolutely great. We don't talk about that. But you still need those people in society, in life. So yes, I get all that. But for pure basketball, he is not a leader. He does this all the time where, he kind of gets fined by the media for not going to the media, and then he'll have, y'all are finding me because I'm trying to do better, bigger things than just sports out here. So, we get it, but I want to see greatness in sports. I love competitiveness. I want to see just sports. That's why I do the show. I just like sports. Obviously, social issues need to be talked about 1,000%. I get it, but not on the show. not when the playoffs are coming up. All right. So got to leave the Nets at number 7, and they don't have a lot of chemistry. I know James Harden, he doesn't need the chemistry. He knows how to facilitate the game. He knows how to facilitate the floor while getting the points. That's why James Harden would have been MVP if he did not get injured, because he was still averaging double digit, like 12 assists a game. It was fantastic. While putting up 25 points a game, fantastic. But everybody wants Chris Paul as MVP when he's putting up like 16 points and like 8 assists. I mean, let's be real, folks. Come on. He's good, but he's not the reason why that Suns team overall is great. So the Nets at number 7 near. No beef, no leadership. Let's see how far it gets them. Alrighty, number 6 team, and this is there's a lot of good teams right here, so I do apologize to this team. I think they are a little low here, but my hands are tied. I've got a couple of better teams over here, so I'm gonna put this number 6 team as the Clippers here. Kawhi Leonard's great. Paul George has been absolutely great this season. Don't get me wrong, but we've seen this a little bit before by Paul George. Always good in the regular season. So, I mean, we still have to take. The last time we saw Paul George in the playoffs, he was floundering. So we don't have another kind of sample size to kind of get that bad taste of Paul George out of our mouths in last year's playoffs. So, gonna leave the Clippers at number 6 here. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, absolutely good. But what I really don't like is that Patrick Beverley is kind of back starting point guard there. When he went down, when he was injured, Reggie Jackson, I loved what Reggie Jackson was doing, because Reggie Jackson at the starting point guard can give you those 10 to 15, maybe even 20 points a night while getting, solid 5, 6, 7 assists. Where Patrick Beverley, he's got the assist, but he doesn't score. He's not a shooter. He's not a scorer. He doesn't take that many shots. He doesn't put up that many points. And if you kind of compare Patrick Beverley's contribution in the starting lineup and off the bench, it's really not that much different. Where if you kind of look at Reggie Jackson's contribution to the starting lineup and off the bench, he's better as a starter than off the bench. So I'm not really big on this kind of Clippers lineup. Serge Ibaka's been out for basically the entire back half of the season. Now he's back. Is he going to get back in the starting lineup? So Clippers are a little light here, even though they do have a really good squad. Even Rondo, they got playoff Rondo. He should be good, but I see a lot of other teams that are a little bit more consistent right now, not really all returning from injury. So Clippers at number 6. Alrighty, number 5 team is the Suns. Alrighty, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Jay Crowder getting it done. Absolutely magnificent. The one thing that that are little red flags on the Suns team is that besides, Devin Booker, Devin Booker's always consistent, getting us 30 points a game. But besides that, there's some games here where the offense just flounders for everybody besides Devin Booker offensively. Like nobody else can contribute, 15 or 20 meaningful points as consistent as Devin Booker does. And that gets the Suns in trouble sometimes. I mean, we've been seeing over the last 3-4 weeks, the Suns putting up 80, 89 points, 85, 93, 97. I mean, not even putting up 100 points a game, and that's a little cause for concerns. Also, what concerns me about the Suns team is their bench a little bit. They had the bench players. They had the offensive scorers, Dario Saric, Cameron Payne, Cameron Johnson. They've got some good shooters off the bench, but we don't get them getting it done consistently together. We may have a 10-point plus game every single night off the bench, but this Suns team is going to need 2-3 good bench scores every single night if they want to have a chance to make it far in this playoffs. Yes, we can count on Chris Paul. Yes, we can count on Devin Booker. DeAndre Ayton's great. Jay Crowder, I'm a big fan of. So they've got a real good starting lineup, but sometimes their offense is a little lackluster, and that is showing big concerns for me. So we can rely on Devin Booker. Everybody else sometimes not the greatest. So Suns at number 5, they got a great squad. I mean, they're great. I mean, don't get me wrong. They still were winning games. They were number 2 in the Western Conference. 21 losses. That's it. 50 wins, 21 losses. Final game is tonight. So, the Suns team is still very good. And I don't want to, y'all saying, oh, you're knocking the Suns team for sometimes not, scoring well. It's just, we've seen it a lot here down the stretch. We've been seeing it consistently in all their losses. So it is a little concerning. So we are going to put the Suns at 5. Alrighty, number 4 team is the Jazz. They're getting Mike Conley back. Donovan Mitchell should be good to go. But, I mean, really just having Mike Conley back is absolutely fantastic. This Jazz team is really just centered around, the pick and roll between Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. When Donovan Mitchell went out, the offense, was kind of like, what's our identity? Now Mike Conley's back. He can kind of fully facilitate the floor. I believe in Mike Conley. The pick and roll between him and Rudy Gobert is good. He's able to put up the points himself. That leaves, Bogdanovich able to do whatever the hell he wants, just kind of being that other great scorer out there. He's not the kind of main focal point, and, Bogdanovich just getting it absolutely done. Bojan Bogdanovich getting it absolutely done for this Jazz team. They got Jordan Clarkson off the bench, who's probably going to win Sixth Man of the Year just because he's putting up so many points a game. He is taking a lot of shots, but he is scoring the ball, 19 points a game. That's great off the bench. So they got the great bench contributor. They'll have Mike Conley coming off the bench if Donovan Mitchell's there. So, once again, another good shooter off the bench. Maybe Joe Ingles comes off the bench if Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell want to stay in the starting lineup together. But they are going to be decently deep. They've got the shooters. They got the big down low. Rudy Gobert, still a little trouble defending the perimeter a little bit. But overall, a great big out there. So, Jazz, they've got the pieces. Donovan Mitchell hopefully gets back quickly. Hopefully he's back game 1 for the first round of the playoffs. And I am expecting that. So, that's why we do have the Jazz at number 4. All right, number 3 team now. I got to give it up to the Denver mother-loving Nuggets, folks. Absolutely super impressive on what they've been doing, folks. So, just, before Jamal Murray went down, they were still, a solid team. Michael Porter Jr., Jokic, and Jamal Murray were all getting it done consistently for this team. Then the trade deadline comes. They get Aaron Gordon, a solid pickup, good defender, solid number 4 on this roster. Doesn't put up the points, doesn't take a lot of shots, just solid defense, and he can also kind of, make the pass. He can get the rebound. So a solid number 4 on this team. Then Jamal Murray goes down, and we thought it might be lights out for this Nuggets team, but they just continue to win, folks. It was absolutely fantastic. Jamal Murray, when did this man go down? He went down around right here, I believe, about April 1st. I think that may have been his last game. Maybe he played in this Detroit game, but let's just take it from April 7th on. They lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games without Jamal Murray since April 7th. Is that what we said? April 7th, April 6th, somewhere around there he goes down, but he's just winning out. They were still winning the last kind of month and a half, 2 months here. So very well done to this Nuggets team, still winning. Facundo Campazzo stepping right into that starting point guard role and getting it done. Monte Morris was their backup point guard, and he was injured. So Facundo Campazzo steps up absolutely huge, and they were still winning games, and that's the biggest factor. And another note here for why the Nuggets are the 3rd best team. Michael Mother-loving Porter Mother-loving Jr., folks. Michael Porter Jr. This is what he's wanted. He's been clamoring for this kind of high offensive role going back last year in the bubble, and they didn't really give it to him. And now, since Jamal Murray went down, he's got to elevate his play, and he did it, folks. He truly freaking did it. Shooting great, high efficient percentage from 3, putting up 25 to 30 points every single game ever since Jamal Murray went down. So I got to give it up for this Nuggets team 1,000%. They had injuries. They overcame it. They got it. They kind of switched up the roster a little bit at the trade deadline. It didn't matter. They worked it. They got it done. And everybody is flourishing here on this Nuggets team. Oh, and they got the MVP in Jokic. Nuggets at number 3. Love everything about this team. Alrighty, number 2, we're going to go the 76ers. I love their starting roster, folks. Joel Embiid, fantastic big. Tobias Harris, one of the most consistent non-superstars in this league, folks. Ben Simmons getting it done, offensive. And now Seth Curry at the 1. We kind of saw, experimental lineups here for the 76ers team a little bit in the last 2 weeks of moving Seth Curry to the 1, Ben Simmons at the 2, and it kind of worked out really good. So Seth Curry getting it done. He can hit the 3. He can facilitate the floor. Ben Simmons, the mid-range is good. The driving to the game is good. Facilitating the floor, making the pass, getting the rebounds. That's what he does, just playing good defense. And then Danny Green, they still got him. Not solid. He's a good defender. He's solid from the 3. Never, any big point games. 11 to 15 points a game he averages. But then, off the bench, Shake Milton, Thibault, Dwight Howard. How great has been Dwight Howard this season? I think he gets a little slept on at 6th man of the year, honestly. But yeah, the 76ers team at number 2, I think they have one of the best starting lineups, honestly. I don't know if there's another starting lineup that's better than the 76ers team. They've got the shooters in Tobias Harris. They got the great down low of Joel Embiid. And then they got, 2 good 3-point shooters in Seth Curry and Danny Green that can freaking turn it on. When they're on, you got to watch out for them. And they're basically going to win the game at least if at least one of those 2 players are on. So love this 76ers team. Going to give them that number 2. And then the number 1 team in the NBA, I got to give it up for this Bucks team, man. Oh, my God. What they've been doing over this last, month of games is just phenomenal, folks. Look at the amount of points this Bucks team has been scoring these last couple of games. 122, 142, 114, 125, 141, 135, 124, 117, 109, 136, 114, 104, 132, 124, 127, 115, 120, 130, 125, 119, 101, 121, 129, 127, 127, 105, 96. So the 96 was at March 27th, folks. That was their last 900-point game. So they're getting it done, scoring the ball in every facet of the game. Threes, mid-range game, and down low of mother-loving Giannis, baby. Giannis putting up 40 points a game during that Brooklyn Nets series. Oh my goodness. That really sealed the deal for us, for this Bucks team. But just Giannis really truly taking control, finally recognizing, hey, I'm the number 1 on this team. I'm the freaking superstar. I'm the all-star on this team. It is up to me. If the team is not getting it done scoring wise, to me to go bury my head, lower my shoulder, drive to the bucket, and lay it up for the easy 2 points. Also, Chris Middleton's hitting the 3, Drew Holiday's hitting the 3, Brooke Lopez is hitting the 3, and then Dante DiVincenzo, solid 3 there. So they've got the nice shooters. The outside shooters are getting it done. Giannis inside is getting it done. They're putting up the points, and truly, I think this is the Bucks' years, folks. This is the Bucks' year, in my opinion, to win the title. Last year, a lot of people were buying the Bucks. We did not buy the Bucks last year, folks. You can go back. They're archived. All of our shows, all of our segments are archived on YouTube. We loved the Heat last season. We called the Heat upset, folks. We called the Heat upset over the Bucks last year. We had no problem. We called it 4-2 Heat in that series. So this Bucks team, it's not like, we're buying the Bucks every single year. No. This is it. This is the year. We're big on the Bucks. They're scoring the basketball, and if they're putting up 142 points, folks, it's going to be tough, especially even for a Nets team that has great outside shooting, because Giannis can go down low. There's nobody to stop the beef down low of that Nets team, of a lot of these teams. Not able to really stop the beef. And if a team does stop the Bucks beef, they've got the outside shooting to back it up. So Bucks at the number 1 seed. Absolutely in love with this Bucks team this year. And I think they could win it all, honestly. So that's our official last power rankings of the year, folks. Culmination of everything that has happened this season. This is where we see the top 10 teams going into the playoffs starting tomorrow. Regular season ends today. Play-in tournament starts Tuesday, and then the playoffs start next week. But Blazers at 10, Knicks at 9, Lakers at 8, Nets at 7, Clippers at 6, Suns at 4, Jazz at... I messed up a number there, so let's go back. Let's just do it again. Here we go. Blazers at 10, Knicks at 9, Lakers at 8, Nets at 7, Clippers at 6, Suns at 5, Jazz at 4, Nuggets at 3, 76ers at 2, and the Bucks, the best team in the NBA, folks. Alrighty, now let's head over to our NFL prediction, breaking down, choosing the winner of every single game of every single week, getting us to the playoffs. We'll walk through the playoffs, we'll determine the Super Bowl champions, and we'll kind of have our way too early to predict Super Bowl champions of the 2021-2022 NFL season. So after 4 weeks, let's recap a little bit on what we've got. Browns at the number 1 of the AFC North at 3-1. Colts top of the AFC South at 4-0. Dolphins top of the AFC East at 3-1. Tied with the Bills, but they do have the tiebreaker. And then the Chiefs, the top of the AFC West at 4-0. Then in the NFC North, Packers 4-0, top there. Bucks 3-1, top of the NFC South. Giants 3-1, top of the NFC East, and the Rams 3-1, top of the NFC West. The Rams are 3-1, the 49ers are 3-1, and the Cardinals are 3-1. The Rams just had the tiebreaker in that series. So that's 4 weeks into the season. Let's get week 5 up here. We'll choose all the outcomes. We'll go to week 6, choose all the outcomes, and we'll see how the season is changing after 6 weeks. So here we go. Browns, Chargers. Alrighty, this one's going to be a great one. Browns at Chargers, week 5 here. How good is this Chargers team going to be with their new head coach? And that's really it. I mean, this Chargers team thinks they're just a head coach plug and play away from winning. And this Browns team, absolutely great last year. Can they carry it over? So this one's going to be an absolutely great game. But I'm going to go with the Chargers because they are at home. Gives the Browns a little bit of trouble. All right, Bills and Chiefs, rematch of the AFC Championship game last year. I got to take the Chiefs here, folks. I don't know if the Bills have done enough in the draft. They did draft pass rushers first 2 rounds, so that's definitely going to help out. But at the end of the day, it's the Chiefs, it's Andy Reid, it's Patrick Mahomes, it's Tyreek Hill, it's Travis Kelce. Can you stop those players? I know Josh Allen is good, and the Bills' defense is good, got better through the draft, but I got to take the Chiefs at home here. Chiefs beat the Bills. Titans, Jags, no question there. Titans, easy peasy. Not really a fan of Urban Meyer here. I don't think he's going to pan out that well. Everything that we've been hearing about him is turning us off of this Jags team. We'll see if he kind of wins us over a little bit. I mean, he still has a couple of months to start winning us over, but as of right now, not big on this Jags team. This Titans team, they got Derrick Henry, so I'm going to take a team with Derrick Henry over a team that does not have Derrick Henry. I'm taking the Titans here. All right, Broncos at the Steelers here. Oh, this is going to be a great one as well, but I got to go the Steelers here. The defense is going to be good, and Najee Harris, week 5, he's going to be hitting a stride. Big Ben early on in the season gets it done as well. We'll have the Steelers at home beating the Broncos. Patriots, Texans. Going to go with the Patriots here. Whatever, offense they put out for the Texans, I'm going to have Bill Belichick to handle it, whether it's Deshaun Watson, whether it's not Deshaun Watson because, he got found guilty of all those sex allegations and maybe the NFL throws him out of their league. We don't know yet. But I'm going to go with the Patriots there on this one. Colts, Ravens. Ooh, buddy. Colts, folks. I am telling you, I love this Colts team. I think the defense gets it done. I think the Ravens are going to be good this season. Don't get me wrong. But this Colts team, I truly think they are going to be the pinnacle of the best football teams here. And I've got them beating the Ravens on the road, folks. All right, Packers, Bengals. Going to go with the Packers here. Packers at the Bengals. Packers on the road here. Doesn't matter. It's Aaron Rodgers. This Bengals team, Joe Burrow coming back from the injury. Packers defense is good. Great even. We'll have the Packers winning. Dolphins, Bucks. As much as I love the Dolphins, obviously, I got to go the Bucks here. The defense is just absolutely great, and they brought back all the starters. Dolphins go into Tampa Bay, faces Tom Brady, and the result is the same like it was in the AFC East all those years. All right, Jets at the Falcons. Going with the Falcons here. The offense, the Jets defense, they've got no playmakers. Yes, Robert Saleh is a defensive-minded head coach, so the defense should be a little bit above average this season. But at the end of the day, I mean, this Falcons team has playmakers everywhere. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, their tight end that they just got. Is it? It's not Kadarius Toney. Is that the tight end? Who is the tight end? Is that his name? I thought Kadarius Toney was the wide receiver. I'm blanking on the tight end's name here. Kyle Pitts, there it is. Yeah, Kyle Pitts is just going to be absolutely phenomenal at the tight end position. So, yes, the Jets offense may be good, probably not, especially on the road here. I got to take this Falcons offense, just going to smother that Jets defense. Then we get the Bears and the Raiders, and I will take the Raiders here at home. Bears, maybe with Justin Fields here week 15. Maybe this is like the week switch in the week 4 through week 5. We have the Bears going 2-3 at this point, so maybe they bench, or 2-2 up until week 5, so maybe they bench Andy Dalton for not a good season, and this is where Justin Fields comes out maybe. But I'll take the Raiders here at home. Rams at Seahawks. Going to take the Seahawks in for this game. Division rival, probably just going to have the home team split on these season series, folks. So I'll have the Seahawks here. Cardinals, 49ers, same thing. Going to take the Cardinals just because they're at home. We'll have the 49ers win when they're at home. We'll have the Rams win when they're at home. Pretty much how it's going to shake out, honestly. Giants Cowboys. This one should be a good one as well. Nice division rivalry here. I love the Giants. Absolutely huge here. This Giants offense is going to be great. I'm still not big on this Cowboys defense, so I'm going to have the Giants with the upset here over the Cowboys on the road. Then we go the Saints in Washington. Saints at Washington. Hey, I'm going to take the Washington football team here. Defense at home. Whichever quarterback wins the starting job for the Saints, whether it's Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston, they're not, Jameis Winston, he threw 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. So I got to give him a little bit of proven talent, but still at the same time, this defense of Washington, I'm not going to be 100% sold on either of these quarterbacks going into the season for the Saints, but this Washington defense gets it done. We'll have them win against the Saints. All right, Eagles and Panthers, and I'm going to go with the Panthers here at home. Eagles at Panthers. I don't know how Nick Sirianni is going to be, and I know Matt Rule, he's going into his second year. Sam Darnold, not really sure how he's going to work out, but the Panthers defense should be better than it was last season, and they have Christian McCaffrey. Panthers offense with Nick Sirianni probably going to crumble. So I'll have the Panthers winning. And then the last game of week number 5 here, Lions at the Vikings. And I'll have the Vikings get the win here. I can't trust Dan Campbell. I'm pretty sure I'm having the Lions going 0-17 this year, but we'll see how the rest of the season shakes out. All right, so that's week 5 in the books. Let's head over to week 6 now. All right, now we've got teams on byes now. 49ers on the bye, Falcons on the bye, Jets on the bye, Saints on the bye. We'll keep that in mind for week 7 with all these teams coming off the bye. Give them a little extra boost for those next week 7 games for those 4 teams. But here we go, week 6, first game up, Raiders and the Broncos, taking the Broncos here at home, Mile High Stadium, still a little early on in the season, probably until like week 7, that's when the Mile High altitude really is not going to play that much of a factor anymore because a lot of players are going to be conditioned by this kind of week 7. Obviously, still a little bit of advantage with Mile High, but not as much as we're putting in for this first kind of 7 weeks here. So Broncos at home, Teddy Bridgewater gets it done. Texans at Colts, easy peasy there, Colts all day. Dolphins, Jags. I got the Dolphins here. Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer. I still don't believe in Urban Meyer, folks, and this Dolphins defense is fantastic. Trevor Lawrence can't do anything. Chargers at the Ravens. Well, the Ravens win this one. Chargers should still be good this season, but beating this Ravens team is another animal. Bills at Titans. Ooh, this should be a real good one, but it's Ryan Tannehill versus Josh Allen. I got to go Josh Allen here. Titans are going to be running the ball a lot this season, but at the end of the day, this Bills offense is absolutely great. We'll have the Bills beating the Titans. All right, Cardinals at the Browns. Ooh, this is a real tough one, but I'm going to take the Browns with the home team here. Folks, I really think the Browns are a legit team this year, and they had a great year last year, made it to the second round of the playoffs, and I really think they take the next step this year. Behind Kevin Stefanski and Baker Mayfield, they will scheme to get it done. Browns beat the Cardinals at home. Ooh, Chiefs at Washington football team. Like I said, I love this Washington defense, and I really think they have a good shot at beating the Chiefs. They've got the pass rushers, but at the end of the day, it's Andy Reid in that offense. This Washington offense is going to be a little lackluster compared to the defense still because the quarterbacks are either Ryan Fitzpatrick or Taylor Heineke. But going to go with the Chiefs there. Bengals at the Lions. Ooh, is this the Lions' first win of the year? Bengals on the road? No. Bengals get it done on the road. Lions are trash. Dan Campbell, he'll overlook this game for some reason. I don't know. Cowboys at Patriots. All right, we're going to go Cowboys here. Do I go Cowboys here? Patriots, I just don't believe in the offense. I just truly do not believe that Cam Newton will get it done. I think the Cowboys defense is going to be trash. Maybe not too trash to kind of handle a Patriots team. I'll the Cowboys with the upset. All right, Seahawks at the Steelers. Once again, this is going to be a real good matchup here early on in the season. Russell Wilson going into Heinz Field with this great Steelers defense, and Najee Harris running the ball. How's the Seahawks defense really going to kind of capitalize on that running game? And Big Ben's arm is still going to be pretty good week 6. So I'm going to give the Steelers the win here over the Seahawks week 6. Buccaneers, Eagles, Bucks at the Eagles. Bucks get this win all day. No problem with Jalen Hurts' kind of real first official year. Packers at the Bears. Real interesting here. Division, a rivalry. We'll have the Bears getting the win. The defense gets it done and handing the Packers the first loss. Rams at the Giants here. the Rams. The Rams defense is going to be really good, and hey, I'm going to believe in Sean McVay making the right call here of choosing Matthew Stafford. Staffy Mafford. But Rams get the win over the Giants, even though I love the Giants a ton this year. And then Vikings-Panthers. I'm going to go with the Vikings here. I don't think Sam Darnold's going to pan out that well for the Panthers here. You got Kirk Cousins in that offense. They've got playmakers everywhere. Delvin Cook, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson. And the defense has been getting a little bit better through free agency this season. So some nice corners to help out the defense. Panthers flounder at home. So, after 6 weeks in the NFL, this is what we're looking at, folks. Steelers, the top of the AFC North at 4-2. Colts, top of the AFC South at 6-0. Dolphins, still the top of the AFC East at 4-2. And the Chiefs, still the top of the AFC West at 6-0. Now, at the NFC side, Packers, 5-1. They just got their first loss against the Bears, but they're still top of the NFC North. Bucks, they got their first loss, but they're still atop of the NFC South. Giants 4-2, still at the top of the NFC East, and the Rams now top of the NFC West at 4-2. So we'll be continuing on with weeks 6, 7, and 8 tomorrow on the show. So come and watch for that. Alrighty, folks, that's going to do it for us today. Basketball is already starting to tip off. We got to go and watch that. So enjoy your full day of the final regular season in the NBA. We'll break it all down tomorrow on the show like we always do. So noon Eastern live tomorrow, twitch.tv/takesbyfans. As always, it's been a pleasure, and we'll